Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. আজি মই আপোনালোকৰ বাবে এখন প্লে লৈ আহিছো যিখনৰ নাম হ'ল ডক্টৰ ফস্টাছ বাই ক্ৰিষ্টফাৰ মাৰ্লো। এই প্লেখন ডিগ্ৰী ইংলিছ অনাৰ্ছ বা MA মাষ্টাৰ্ছ ইংলিছ অনাৰ্ছৰ কাৰণে বহুত কামত আহে। সো ইয়াতে মই অথৰৰ বিষয়ে গোটেই প্লেখনৰ সামাৰী থিম ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট কুৱেশ্যন পেপাৰ কিছুমান ডিছকাছ কৰিছোঁ। সো ভিডিঅ'টো শেষলৈ চাই থাকিব। ডক্টৰ ফস্টাছ বাই ক্ৰিষ্টফাৰ মাৰ্লো। About the author. Christopher Marlowe, also known as Kit Marlowe, was an English playwright, poet and translator of the Elizabethan era. Marlowe was the foremost Elizabethan tragedian of his day. Marlowe's plays are known for the use of blank verse and their overreaching protagonist. He was an Elizabethan poet and William Shakespeare's most important predecessor in English drama. In a playwriting career that spanned little more than 6 years, Marlowe's achievements were diverse and splendid. Summary: Faustus was born in a poor family in Rhodes. He was educated at Wittenberg with the help of some relatives. There, he became the doctor of divinity and was renowned as a great scholar. He was proud of his knowledge and, like Icarus, tried to overreach himself. Therefore, he conspired with the devil and was criticized forever. In the beginning, Faustus becomes dissatisfied with his studies of medicine, law, logic, and theology. All the people are sinners and therefore they are bound to die. Nothing can save them from sin and death. Therefore, he decides to turn to the dangerous practice of necromancy or magic. He can then become all-powerful, secure all the knowledge and enjoy all the pleasures of the world. He has his servant Wagner summon Bliss and Cornelius, two German experts in magic. Faustus tells them that he has decided to experiment in necromancy and needs them to teach him some of the fundamentals. The good angel and the bad angel, which are only two aspects of Faustus himself, try to win him over onto their respective sides. This inner conflict is very weak as Faustus is determined to side with the evil angel and pursue black magic. He is thrilled at the prospect of getting gold from India, pearls from the sea, tasty delicacies of reading strange philosophies, of knowing secrets of the kings and performing miracles. He therefore studies black art with the help of Bliss and Cornelius. When he is alone in his study, Faustus begins experimenting with magical incantations and suddenly Mephistopheles appears in the form of an ugly devil. Faustus sends him away, telling him to reappear in the form of a friar. The meek, obedient by Mephistopheles, tells him that the power of magic is limited and that the pleasures of heaven are greater than any other pleasure. He claims that he has come not at Faustus' command but on his own. He informs Faustus that he goes to any person who, like Faustus, curses Christ and adjures scriptures, holy books. Whenever man is on the brink of spiritual disaster, the devil appears to hasten this disaster. Faustus shows keen interest in the nature of Lucifer, who is a devil. He also wants to know about hell and heaven. Mephistopheles tells him that heaven provides the greatest bliss. Absence of heaven is hell. Once a person is condemned to hell, he can never come out of it. He carries hell with him wherever he goes. Mephistopheles thus tries to deceive Faustus, but he pays no heed to this warning. Faustus sends Mephistopheles back to hell with bargain that if Faustus is given 24 years of absolute power, he will then sell his soul to Lucifer. He debates within himself whether he should side with God or devil. This mental conflict is symbolized by the good angel and the evil angel. It tries to win him over to his side. Faustus rejects the good and accepts the evil. He is determined to pursue the practice, the art of black magic. Mephistopheles appears and informs that Lucifer has accepted Faustus' offer. He tells that Faustus will have to write a contract in his own blood. Faustus agrees to sign the contract in blood with the devil even though several omens appear which warn him not to make this bond. Faustus begins to repent of his bargain as the voice of the good angel continues to urge him to repent. At once, to divert Faustus, Mephistopheles and the angry Lucifer appears before him and rebukes him for remembering God. He warns Faustus never to seek God's help. He presents the show of 7 deadly sins for Faustus' entertainment. After this episode, Faustus and Mephistopheles go to the German emperor's court, where they conjure up Alexander the Great. At this time, Faustus also makes a pair of horns suddenly appear on one of the knights who had been skeptical about Faustus' powers. After this episode, Faustus is next seen selling his horse to a horse courser, with the advice that the man must not ride the horse into the water. Later, the horse courser enters Faustus' study and accuses Faustus of false dealings because the horse had turned into a bundle of hay in the middle of a pond. After performing other magical tricks, such as bringing forth fresh grapes in the dead of winter, Faustus returns to Wittenberg, where, at the request of his fellow scholars, he conjures up the apparition of Helen of Troy. He seems to forget his worries at the sight of Helen, but at last the day of his death arrives. He tells the scholars about his foolish contract with the devil. An old man appears and tries to get Faustus to hope for salvation, and yet Faustus cannot. He knows it is now too late to turn away from the evil and asks for forgiveness. When the scholars leave, the clock strikes 11 and Faustus realizes that he must give up his soul within an hour. As the clock marks its passing segment of time, Faustus sinks deeper and deeper into despair. When the clock strikes 12, devils appear amid thunder and lightning and carry Faustus off to his eternal damnation. Important question and answer. Examine Dr. Faustus as a study of conflict with reference to the Christian faith. A question to 2021 or 2022 आइसिले. And next question, discuss the conflict between medieval and Renaissance values with reference to the text Dr. Faustus. এই দুইটা question হৰে answer to same answer হয়. দুইটা question আহিলে আপুনি same আপোনালোকে same answer টুকে লিখিব পাৰিব. Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe, is a Christian play. It deals with the themes at the heart of Christianity's understanding of the world. Dr. Faustus can be seen as a cautionary tale that highlights the dangers of succumbing to the temptations of worldly success and material gain and the eternal consequences of turning away from the Christian faith. First, there is the idea of sin, which Christianity defines as acts contrary to the will of God in making a pact with Lucifer. Faustus commits what is in a sense the ultimate sin. Not only does he disobey God, but he consciously and even eagerly renounces obedience to him, choosing instead to swear allegiance to the devil. The play can be seen as a study of the duality of the Christian faith because it portrays the struggle between the desire for material success and the need for spiritual fulfillment. Faustus' actions and decisions are driven by his desire for knowledge and power, which represent the worldly aspirations of human beings. However, his constant internal conflict and his eventual damnation represent the eternal consequences of giving in to these temptations. Furthermore, the play also raises questions about the nature of free will and predestination, which are central to Christian theology. Faustus' decision to make a pact with the devil and his ultimate damnation raise questions about whether his fate was predetermined or if he could choose a different path. In a Christian framework, however, even the worst deed can be forgiven through the redemptive power of Jesus Christ, God's Son, who according to Christian belief died on the cross for humankind's sins. Thus, however terrible Faustus' pact with Lucifer may be, the possibility of redemption is always open to him. All that he needs to do theoretically is ask God for forgiveness. The play offers countless moments in which Faustus considers doing just that, urged on by the good angel on his shoulder or by the old man in scene 12, both of whom can be seen either as emissaries of God, personifications of Faustus' conscience, or both. Each time, Faustus decides to remain loyal to hell rather than seek heaven. In the Christian framework, this turning away from God condemns him to spend an eternity in hell. Only at the end of his life does Faustus desire to repent, and in the final scene he cries out to Christ to redeem him. But it is too late for him to repent. In creating this moment in which Faustus is still alive but incapable of being redeemed, Marlowe steps outside the Christian worldview in order to maximize the dramatic power of the final scene. Having inhabited a Christian world for the entire play, Faustus spends his final moments in a slightly different universe where redemption is no longer possible and where certain sins cannot be forgiven. In the medieval model, tradition and authority, not individual inquiry, were key, but in this soliloquy, Faustus considers and rejects this medieval way of thinking. He resolves in full Renaissance spirit to accept no limits, traditions, or authorities in his quest for knowledge, wealth, and power. The play's attitude toward the clash between medieval and Renaissance values of ambitious Marlowe seems hostile toward the ambitions of Faustus, and as Dawkins notes, he keeps his tragic hero squarely in the medieval world where eternal damnation is the price of human pride. On the other hand, the disappointment and mediocrity that follow Faustus' pact with the devil as he descends from grand ambitions to petty conjuring tricks might suggest a constructing interpretation. Marlowe may be suggesting that the new modern spirit, though ambitions and glittering, will lead only to a Faustian dead end. Question number 2. Discuss the important themes of the text, Dr. Faustus. First, আপোনালোকে এইটো কোৱেশ্চনটো লিখোতে ফাৰ্ষ্ট আপোনালোকে অথৰ ইন্ট্ৰডাকচনটো দি দিব। সেকেন্ড, টেক্সটৰ বিষয়ে শৰ্টলি এটা ডেসক্ৰিপচন দি দিব। দেন ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট থিমছ কিছুমান যিকেইটা ডক্টৰ ফাউষ্টাছৰ হয় সেইকেইটা তলত আছে। মইতো এইকেইটা এক্সপ্লেইন কৰি দিয়া নাই, ওপৰত যিটো মই সামৰি দিছোঁ তাৰে পৰা আপোনালোকে চিনকেইটা পাৰ্টকৈ ওলাই, এই থিমকেইটা পাৰ্টকৈ ওলাই তাৰ পৰা ইয়াতে এক্সপ্লেইন কৰিব পাৰিব। চ' ফাৰ্ষ্ট থিমটো হ'ল চিন, ৰিডেমশ্যন এণ্ড ডেমনেশ্যন। এই থিমটো আপোনালোকে যিখিনি সামৰি দিয়া আছে তাৰ পৰা ভাগ কৰি পিনে লিখিব পাৰিব। ছেকেণ্ড সামৰিটো হ'ল দ্য কনফ্লিক্ট বিটুইন মেডিয়েভেল এণ্ড ৰেনেচেন্স ভেলিউজ। থাৰ্ড থিম, power is a corrupting influence, and fourth theme, the divided nature of man. So এই theme কেইটা আপোনালোকে summary পৰা ধুনীয়াকৈ ওলাই তাৰ পৰা পাৰ্ট কৰি ইয়াতে এড কৰি দিব পাৰিব। সো এইটো আছিল আজি ভিডিঅ'টো ভাল লাগিলে লাইক কমেণ্ট এণ্ড সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰিব নাপাহৰিব। পুনৰ এটা নতুন ভিডিঅ'তে লগ পাম। আজিলৈ ধন্যবাদ।